couple of different sort of multiplying fractional problems. So first we have a whole number times a fraction. So if I have 600 times 5/12, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 600 and I'm going to turn it into a fraction. So that's going to become 600 over 1 times 5/12. Then I'm going to multiply numerator times numerator, so 600 times 5 over denominator times denominator, 1 times 12. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 zeros, so it's going to be 3,000. Over 12 times 1, which is going to be 12. Now I have to reduce that, because I cannot leave it like that as an improper fraction. I have to figure out how many times 12 goes into 3,000. So 3,000 divided by 12. 12 goes into 30 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. $30 minus 24 is 6. Bring down my 0, and I have 60. 12 goes into 65 times. And 12 times 5 is 60. 60 minus 60 is 0. Bring down my 0. 12 goes into 0 0 times. So my answer is 250, which makes sense because 5/12 is part of a whole. It's about half. So 250 is about half of 600, so that makes sense. Now let's try 2/9 times 35. Again, I'm going to take my 35 and make it into a fraction. So it's going to be 2/9 times 35 over 1. 2 times 35, or I'm sorry, that's going to be numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. And 2 times 35 is going to be 70. And 9 times 1 is 9. Again, I'm going to reduce this. I cannot leave it like this. I know that 9 goes into 70 7 times. And 9 times 7 is 63. And 70 minus 63 is 7. So that'd be 7 and 7/9. I can also double check my answer, make sure that makes sense. Do 70 divided by 9. 9 goes into 77 times 9 is 63. Subtract 70 minus 63 is 7. And so that remainder right there turns into my numerator. Let's try fraction times a fraction. So again, when I multiply fractions, it is numerator times numerator, so 6 times 3, over denominator times denominator, 7 times 8. 6 times 3 is 18, and 7 times 8 is 56. Because both of these numbers are even, I know I can divide both of them by 2 to reduce or simplify the fraction. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 56 divided by 2 is 28. Then I check, see if I can reduce it any further. Well, 9's odd and 28's even, so I can't divide them both by 2. The factors of 9 are 1, 3, and 9, and the factors of 28 are 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. So none of those numbers are similar, so this is as reduced as I can get it. So 9/28 is my answer. Now let's try a mixed number times a whole number. In order to do a mixed number times a whole number, I need to take the mixed number and create an improper fraction. In order to do that, I have to multiply my whole number times my denominator. Oops, sorry about my drawing there. Plus my numerator over my denominator. So that's going to stay the same. And my whole number, again, I'm going to convert into a fraction. So this is going to become 4 over 1. This will now be 2 times 8, which is 16, plus 3, so that'll be 19. So this is now 19/8 times 4 over 1. And we're going to continue as numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. I don't know 19 times 4 off the top of my head, but I do know that 4 times 20 would be 80. And so 80 minus 4 would be 76. So I believe this is going to be 76, but I'm going to go ahead and write it out and double check. I always like to double check my numbers, make sure I'm correct, because we're all human and make mistakes. So 9 times 4, that's 36. Down my 6, carry my 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3, that's 7. I am correct, it is 76. Always love to double check. 76 over 8 times 1, which is 8. Now, how many times does 8 go into 76? So I would do 76 divided by 8. Well, I know 8 times 10 is 80, and that's less than 80, so I'm going to try 9. And 8 times 9 is 72. So 76 minus 72 is 4. So that'll be my remainder, so I would have 4/8. So that would be 9 and 4/8, which I can still reduce because, again, 4 and 8 are both even. So I can divide them both by 2. So that'd be 9 and 2/4, which again I can reduce even further because 2 and 4 are still both even. So that would be 9, and then 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 9.5. You may have also known that it was 9.5 because both 4 and 8 can be divided by 4. Or you may have also noticed that 4 is half of 8, right? 4 plus 4 is 8. So you may have already just noticed that that was a half. So the answer is 9.5. We can also do a mixed number times a fraction. So again, same thing. I have to convert my mixed number into an improper fraction. So that's going to be my whole number times my denominator plus my numerator. And using our order of operations, we're going to do multiplication or parentheses first, and then add over 5 times 2/3. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1, that's going to be 16. So I've got 16 over 5 times 2/3. Again, it's numerator times numerator, and denominator times denominator. I always like to do this step just to line everything up, make sure everything is equal and makes sense. 2 times 16 is going to be 32, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now I know 15 goes into 32 twice, and 15 times 2 is 30, and 32 minus 30 is 2, and my denominator stays the same, so it'd be 15. So it's 2 and 2/15. And again, I can do my standard algorithm to make sure that that makes sense. Got 15 goes in there 2 times, 2 times 15, oops, is 30. Excuse my mistake right there. And then that would be 2, so That'll be my 2/15. And I cannot reduce that any further. So that's my answer.